and we're ready to go.
Like she said, my name is Marty. This is my son-in-law, Ethan. We're both owners of EpicCorals here in Twin Falls. What we have done is we have taken a little basement store and grew it into a business. What we have done with it is you guys been to the ocean before, correct? Yeah. What we have done with technology and stuff, we have taken that big ocean and brought it to Twin Falls, and it's about the size of a pinhead. And with that, with technology, we have brought it down to where we can grow corals, raise fish, breed fish, and just about everything that has to do with the ocean we can do. We don't have it down to exact science, but we are so close that what we do we can grow and make live. And I'll have Ethan talk about it a little bit.
So, a little bit about EpicCorals. I started out as a hobbyist when I was 16 years old. Decided that I was going to start growing corals in my basement. Well, then it took off, and I had people wanting corals. So I started propagating corals, meaning we cut the corals, we set them in a tank, and we let them regrow. And then we cut them again, and they regrow. It started turning out that I had like hundreds of people coming to my house, and I needed a way out. So it got really busy, and so we just started looking into places where we were going to put a business where people could come, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And my father-in-law decided to get started with us. So now we have a full-blown store. Like I said, we propagate corals from all over the world. We get our corals from Fiji, Indonesia. Indonesia just closed down. They're having government problems right now. But we do have Indonesia corals, Australia, Jakarta, Vietnam. All over the world we get our corals.
Australia.
Yeah. And Australia is the Great Barrier Reef. A lot of the corals, though, are not from the wild. They actually have farms. So when you go to the ocean in like Indonesia, they have big racks. And they grow these corals, and then they export them to the United States, and we pick them up, and then we start the grow-out process. So we do make all of our water in-house. It's all RODI water. Everything is reverse osmosis water. We use no tap water. Chloramines, chlorine, TDS, total dissolved solids, all of it is cleaned out. And then we put in salt water. So we use Red Sea salt. Red Sea's from the Red Sea. It's actually, they put it in ponds and they dry it out, and then they scoop up the salt and bag it. So that way when you bring it to the States, you can actually make, what's the word I'm thinking of? Manufactured water. It's the same water as the ocean. And then we have elements that we add to the water, automatic dosers, because the skeleton structures of the corals need calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, trace elements. There's 31 trace elements in the ocean. So we add all those elements to our water to make sure these corals thrive and can build their skeleton structures. There's different kinds of corals. There's beginner corals, mediocre corals, and then expert corals. You find a lot of your expert corals in the most pristine part of the world where the water is the cleanest, and that's going to be Fiji. And those corals are called SPS corals, small polyp stony corals. And those very, very small polyps with the skeleton structure with the skin over it. And as they grow, they'll grow their skeleton, and then the skin will climb up the skeleton, grow, and so on and so forth. And then LPS is the mediocre corals, and those are large polyp stony corals. And those are a little bit easier. They need a little bit dirtier water than SPS corals, the expert corals. Your nitrates and your phosphate levels have to be a little bit different than your SPS coral systems. And then you have what's called soft corals, and those are beginner corals because they like dirty water. You can feed your tank, and they will just grow. You don't have to have anything really specific. Sorry about that. Specific to grow the soft corals. They're just easy to grow and they're pretty cheap. So it's a great beginner coral. And then also, so for advertisement, we really hit it hard with Facebook. I sponsor all the time. We have a video. I don't know if Robin showed you guys the new video that we just came out with. Did you show them that?
Not yet.
Is there a way I can log into my Facebook on here and go through some of the corals so that I can kind of explain? So then we just hit it off with, we're going to start September 1st. We just paid a lot of money to the radio station, 92.7. We're going to do Midday Munchies with Joey Bravo. Then we have a 30-second advertisement going up as well, and you'll hear that every single day if you tune in to 92.7.
So you're doing radio advertisement and Facebook advertisement.
And then we also are with the Chamber of Commerce, so we do quite a bit of stuff with them.
We welcome you all to come into our store anytime you like and check it out. It's very nice. You'd be really amazed with it.
What hours are you open?
From 11 in the morning till 8 at night,
And what days?
Tuesday through Sunday.
So this here is our logo for now. We're actually changing this up because a lot of people in Idaho don't know what corals are.
Oh my.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of grief over that.
Yeah, so we are going to be changing that. When I show you the video, you'll see the new logo that we've been working on. But for the most part, this is our logo, and then a pinch of the sea. That's kind of our
Tagline?
tagline. My last name is Pinch, so pinch of the sea worked out perfect.
Oh, that's cool.
So let's go back here. See if I can- So this is a video that we have an employee that went to college for all kinds of like video. So he made us this video right here. So these are all live corals. Those are all propagating corals. So that there is going to be our new logo. So we just decided to put 2 C's in so nobody gets confused.
Nice.
So it was just a 45-second video, nothing too special, but it already has 7,200 views.
Nice.
So I hit it hard with, we put it out on August 15th, so it hasn't even been 30 or 15 days.
Okay.
So 7,000 views, and I sponsor it, and I target. So while I'm doing Facebook, I like to, it tells you insights. So it's telling you.
Can you go ahead and show them insights
Yeah, let me go up here real quick.
toward the top?
Insights.
So 12,000, very nice. Okay.
So right here it'll tell you what age and women or men are watching. So as I started doing this, I started figuring out, because I didn't know for sure who's watching, who's interested. So I kind of went out with a rough draft, and as we post more and more videos, it starts to tell me these insights. Who, what age, where, so I can target those. So now I'm not just wasting my money and throwing somebody that doesn't care or want to click on it to watch. So I have...
So it looks like you have 3 general age categories.
So countries, United States. I didn't go out of the country.
So 25 to 34, 35 to 44,
Right.
45 to 54. So as you're choosing your age demographic to focus on, you'll probably want to select one of those 3 categories.
Yeah, so when I post a video, I usually do between 25 and 45 years old. Anything past that is really just a dud. Anything below that is pretty much just a dud. I mean, you know, it could be word of mouth, but like I said, I'm not trying to target those people. I'm trying to target people that would be interested in doing this. And this is going to be, I believe, it's 10-second clicks. So people that watch it for at least 10 seconds, and that's why we did the video for 45. I think it's 45 seconds. That way, it's just to the point. People see, and then we're going to do also like footage of. So it'll have captions, and it'll kind of talk about what each one of our systems do, instead of just an overall of the store. It'll be more of explaining what. It'll be still a quick video, but it'll explain what each system does, if that makes sense at all. Yeah.
You said you had to sponsor this? And sponsor
Yeah.
the video, what does that mean?
So sponsoring, so it's called, so you boost your post. For this one, my total budget was $200. So I ran it for a 30-day consecutive. And so what that means is it's going to tell you you're targeting men and women aged 25 to 50 who live in 4 locations and 17 interests. So the 17 interests I did coral reef, aquariums, fish hobbyists, retail, online shopping. And I just went through and I put all these different things in. So if you were looking for an aquarium, boom, it's going to pop up EpicCorals. Does that make sense? So I targeted, and so this promotion will run for 31 days. So then my budget was $200. So it will give you so many likes or so many views per day. You know, when we're all scrolling through Facebook, how you just see a business pop up and you're like, I've never seen that business before. The reason why it popped up on your Facebook is because they sponsored it. So no matter what, it's just a select few, whatever they're targeting. If you were looking for car tires, Leschwab might pop up because they sponsored that to target you when you're looking for tires. Does that make sense? So, I mean, it took me a little while, and there's people out there that come to our business and go, hey, I'll run your Facebook page. I will do this. Well, I'm one step ahead of you. I don't need your help. I already know how to do this. So right there, I just took that job out. And that's all just from playing with it. And Facebook is really good because they'll send you messenger messages that will tell you tips and tricks on how to boost your views, how to boost your likes. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. So 2303 10-second video views. So it'll tell you right there, 12,000 people reached. So 12,000 people scrolled past the video. So, any questions about that? Okay.
So when you work with the Chamber of Commerce, what kinds of things do you do?
We do the after-hour events. We'll go and we'll talk to, you go to the after-hour events, and it's the biggest business owners in Twin Falls. You got the Kyle family there. Who else is there?
Owners of Canyon Crest,
Elevation 486. All the big local businesses.
Car
And
dealerships.
yeah, and then I mean, like, if what other, like, that call center. It used to be
C3.
C3. So where that's such a big company, they send the executives to the after hours events. So you don't get to see the owners, but you're talking to the highest up. And so that's what I really like about it, is surrounding myself with big business owners. Because obviously they are doing it right. They have big businesses. And so any information that we can get from them, talking to them, you know, networking. Hey, I know this person that you should talk to. Hey, there's this guy. So on and so forth. With that, that's what we like to do. And sometimes we'll do, what is it, after hours, like they'll have, you put in your business cards and you bring something from your store. So we'll do like gift cards and
All the drawings and stuff.
yeah, they'll have drawings and whatnot that you can throw in to advertise your business.
Nice.
And we've won advertising for 30 days on 106.7, and so I mean it's fun. You get to talk to a lot of people, and I really enjoy that. So I recommend the Chamber of Commerce for
Awesome.
any business.
October 18th or 13th, I'm not looking at the syllabus, I don't remember, but the October after hours event will be held here on campus, and I've encouraged the students to attend, and we'll be focusing on, so the students will be focusing on your business as their networking piece. What are they working on this term? So I'm hoping you guys will be able to be there.
We will be.
Yeah, we
Good.
will be there. Yep.
Good.
And then also we have an event coming up. It's the 2018 barbecue. Once a year we throw a huge barbecue. Hobbyists from all over the state come to this barbecue. And you can see that I spent $33, but I targeted every single person that likes our Facebook page. Because I'm not really trying to target people outside of EpicCorals. I'm trying to get people that already know about EpicCorals to come down. We have like 1,200 likes on our Facebook page. So what I posted there, the targeting was people that like your page plus their friends. So that was the targeting for the 2018 barbecue, and that's September 29th, next month from 12 to 4. So if any of you guys want to come out, it's free hot dogs. We're raffling off tanks. I've got a hold of all of our sponsors, and they're throwing in a whole bunch of free stuff, so we'll be doing raffles, drawings, all that fun stuff.
And you said September 29th. Okay.
Yeah,
That was my question.
September 29th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Hopefully at least some of you will be able to go so that you can, and even before then, so you can see their location and what they have to offer. I encourage you to take pictures while you're there because you'll likely want to use them in your marketing.
We'll be raffling off a free tank and have hot dogs and pops, water, have a live DJ there. And, yeah.
What is your mission statement?
Mission statement.
Do you have one? If you don't, it's okay.
No. Trying to find some.
What do you mean by mission statement?
Yeah.
What is your common goal long-term for your business?
Our long-term goal is to be the biggest and the best in Idaho.
We're almost there.
And we've been in business for a little over a year, and we've had a lot of people say that we won't last a year because nobody else has, and we're not going anywhere.
Nice.
You know, we got tanks all over Idaho. We got a 550-gallon tank at the Gurley Hospital. We got tanks at Tradesman Staffing. We tried to get a tank going here, but they haven't
Shut
let
us
us
down.
do it yet.
At the college?
Yeah,
At the
Harrodstown.
yeah,
Ooh, fun!
yeah, but they said they don't do anything with fish. So trying to find the Burley Hospital.
That's dumb.
So, also, I'll explain this right here. So, when the fish come in, no other company in the state of Idaho does this. So when the fish come in, you can see this here with all the tubes in the table. So what we do is when the fish come in, these fish are very sensitive. So pH levels, salinity, that's going to be the level of the salt in the water. So the system that we're going to put them in, this mechanism here runs off of it. And so what we do is we stick styrofoam boxes on here, and we put the fish in, and we drip acclimate them for 3 to 4 hours. So that way that water is slowly changing over, and we're not dumping them straight into the tank, and they start gasping, and then they stress out, and they die. So very, very high quality of fish that we sell. And like I said, nobody else does that. It's more of a lack of knowledge type of deal. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting. You said it was slow drip acclimation?
Yeah, slow drip acclimation. So on each one of these tubes, there's a little valve right here. And then we just turn the valve on and it slowly drips into the styrofoam. So that, we get $800 fish. It would be very sad to see something like that just croak out. Yeah.
So this is kind of off topic, but I'm just curious. So you don't have a mission statement, but like, what's your vision for the company, like your business? Like, besides being the biggest and the best, like, what do you see?
So what we want to do is, I really want to grow and propagate. So propagation of the coral. Cut the corals, put them in grow out in the back, and let them grow, and then have a multiple. So it's never been done before in the United States is have multiple franchises of EpicCorals and have one facility that's growing these corals. So every single EpicCoral, say we got one here, we got one in Pocatello, we got one in Boise. I want to be able to have that store be able to email us what they need, and we go in the back and we grab corals from our main facility. And be able to ship it to them. Because right now, we're having to search all over the world for corals. And it's a pain in the butt. So if I could simplify it to where we have the corals at our facility here, and be able to package those up and send them like a driver, have just a driver drive them to wherever they need to go instead of having to take airlines, UPS. Those guys don't care about packages. They're tossing corals, throwing corals, and I've seen them do it, and I'm like, dude, are you going to pay for that box? What do you mean? You know what's in that box? It says live goods. People don't throw the box. So I really have a passion about this. A fish is like a dog meat. You wouldn't throw a dog in a little box and then just start tossing it around. It's just not ethical. Same with fish, same with coral. Coral are living animals. They all have mouths, and they do eat. They eat plankton out of the water. Our main mission. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So do you want to go just in the state of Idaho or out the state of Idaho?
So our main focus is Idaho right now. And then once we establish in Idaho, we'll start thinking about moving to near states like Nevada, Utah. I know Utah is pretty big with saltwater. You probably all heard of the show Tanked. So that's a very large company, but they do, it's called ATM. That's their real company name, and they're based out of Vegas. They don't really specialize in the live corals. They make pretty much statues, if you will, and then they
paint them.
Yeah, they paint them. And so they don't really do live corals. And so where I specialize in live corals, that's what we specialize in. We don't specialize just in fish. We propagate and grow corals, and we try and teach people how to care for these corals. So that's a really, really big thing that we specialize in. Like, people come in and ask for freshwater, reptiles, frogs. I'm sure I could go out back.
I'm sorry, but I wanted freshwater and frogs.
Okay.
I'd like to go back to your slow drip acclimation for just a moment. Is this a process that you came up with, you created, or is this something that you were able to expand on?
What we did, we were in LA, we went and see these big outfits in LA. And one of them, Volume Marine, they had an acclimation center on theirs, not quite like this, as big as ours. And we thought, if they can do it, we can do it. So we just put our minds together and built that. What happens is when we get fish and corals, the salinity in the water where we get it from can be like 0.15. And we like to get ours up to 0.27. So drip acclimation brings the salinity up high enough to meet our tanks in our store. And once it gets there, then we can put them into our quarantine
So
system.
it's less stress on the animals if they're in lower salinity, but to thrive and actually be healthy, they need to be in a higher salinity, higher salt level than what they ship it. It's just kind of just keeps them healthier, shipping. So
That's wow. That's actually pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, everybody that comes into the store and sees that, they're like, wow.
How do you differentiate yourselves from your, number one, who are your local competitors, and how do you differentiate yourself?
Well, our local competitors here in Twin Falls is Exotic Guppy and Petco.
Exotic Guppy just does freshwater.
They do saltwater.
it is salt water. Different kind of salt water.
Oh,
So it's old technology. So I don't like to talk bad about any business, but fact of it is technology is getting better. And this is what I tell people when they walk into the store is, would you buy a flip phone today when they're
Versus an
offering
iPhone.
you an iPhone at the same price? Would you do it? No, absolutely not. Why? Because it's going to take you an hour to check your emails on your flip phone versus one click you're checking your emails on your iPhone. So it's the same thing with technology. We run Radions over all of our corals. So Radions are the best lights on the market. They're T5 bulbs mixed with, so they're not actually, they're LEDs, but they have integrated T5, metal halide, and LED into one spectrum. So it's a full spectrum LED. So it's every single color in the entire light spectrum.
so full spectrum LED is one of the things that differentiates you from your competitors.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. And the filtration. So our filtration is fully up to date using the reverse osmosis. So Exotic Guppy only carries soft corals, just beginner corals. And where we have expert corals, there's been no store ever heard of in Twin Falls, Idaho that carries expert corals.
How long does it take to grow for the coral to grow?
Oh, just depending on the different corals. So I brought this picture up right here. So all of these are going to be cut, propagated corals. So different pieces of coral will grow at different rates of time, just depending on the quality of the water. Like I said, with the easy corals, the soft corals, you have to have a little bit dirtier water. So if you have pristine water and you try and put these soft corals in there, they're going to grow slower because they don't have that nutrients to grow as fast. Now you put them in dirtier water with a nitrate level of 10 to 20 parts per million, they're going to grow faster because they have more of that nutrients. You put an SPS, small polyp stony coral, expert coral, in a high nutrient soft coral system, they're probably just going to choke out and die. They can't, their cells can't live in that quality of water. So when you have a mixed reef, those are very hard to keep, a mixed reef, because you have to find a fine line between all the corals to be able to grow. So you've got soft coral, LPS, and SPS corals.
Do you have a picture of a reef tank in there that you can show?
So I have the Burley Hospital is the 550-gallon reef, and that is a mixed reef tank. So let me find. I actually have. Let's see here.
One quick question while I'm looking at
Yeah.
that. Do you guys have any online competitors that you're aware of?
We do all over.
Yeah.
There's online competitors all over. We really haven't got into the online sales yet because we are so new. But here in the near future, we will start doing a lot more online.
Do you know if their prices are like the same as you guys, or if they're cheaper, or where you guys match them? Or
Actually, they're cheaper than we are, but the quality is less than ours. Because at our store, everything we have, we take very good care of. We want nothing but the best for our customers. Like with the fish, we have a quarantine system. We put all our fish into it, and we watch them, monitor them, make sure they're feeding, eating, getting along with each other. No diseases, no bugs on them. And so that way we know when we sell them to a customer, they're healthy.
I made the mistake once when I had my saltwater tank of getting a fish from, I think it was PetSmart. And I did the drip acclimation, the whole bit. I did it right, put it in. It was diseased and wiped out my entire tank in less than a week.
Like I tell people, it's
Very
like,
expensive.
Yeah, it's like if I had the flu and you guys were trapped in this room with me and I was going around talking to all of you face to face, there is going to be a time when all of us get the flu and we're all just infected with the flu. It's the same thing with fish. So you get any kind of parasites, that parasite's going to move to the next fish and then the next fish, and then pretty soon it's just going to wipe your whole tank out. So we take very high pride in our quarantine system. I check the medications weekly to make sure they're up to par, so that way no parasites, fin rot, funguses, or anything get attached to our fish. And if it does happen, we will take that fish and we will put it in what we call the hospital tank. And that hospital tank is just its own running tank, so that way it can't go to the next fish. And then we feed them 3 times a day, so that way their immune systems get boosted up to make sure they're healthy. So that way, when the hardest thing about saltwater fish is getting to eat. So we use a lot of garlic in our food. They love garlic. And if you guys like to go fishing, come pick up some garlic, because you'll catch a ton of fish. So this is the 550-gallon reef tank at the Burley Hospital, and all the different colors you'll see are all live corals. And we've been working on this tank for over
Over a year.
Over a year. We completely, when I was doing this in my basement, I redid this whole entire tank. I took out all the rock, all the sand, put new sand. So all these are actual live corals.
That's stunning.
From all over the world. And it's actually grown exponential since, this is an anemone. So that right there is about 2 feet. Yeah, it doesn't look that big, but it is huge. So this is just kind of so some of these are soft corals, like this is a soft coral here. And then right there on the top, that green is a hard coral. You got acros from Fiji, those branchy looking ones on the top there. Soft coral, LPS coral right there. I just zoomed in on. We got clams in here.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, it's a full-on mixed reef tank, and these are going to be, there's the clam right there. And so that clam is from Tahiti. Bubble corals, anything you can think of, it's in this tank. And so what we did is, this is what we call a working tank. Working tank means we took corals from our own will. They didn't have to pay for them, and we planted them in there. And we're going to let them grow, and then we propagate them, and we bring them back. So not only are we maintaining that tank, it's a working tank. So as those corals right now are growing, we're going to bring them back here in about a year, and cut them up and then resell them. So we call it working tank. Yeah.
So there's an element of sustainability with what you guys do. You're not destroying an ecosystem. In fact, you're creating ecosystems.
So, good thing you brought that up. So I tell people.
Yeah, it's starting to look really good, Kendall. You gotta come check it out one of these days.
That was me talking. But so, what'd you say, man? Sorry.
Sustainability,
Right.
creating ecosystems.
Oh, okay. So when people come in, they think you get a hermit crab because it's cool, or you get a shrimp because it's cool, or you get snails because they're cool. Absolutely not. So when you make a saltwater tank, you have to create this ecosystem. So with that, you get a hermit crab because it eats leftover food. You get a snail because it cleans the rocks, so you don't have any of that nasty looking algae swaying all over the place. You get shrimp because certain shrimp clean your fish. So we've probably all seen like Finding Nemo. You know how the shrimp gets on them and they open their gills and it gets in there and they're cleaning them. So that's actually real. They're called cleaner shrimp, and they will actually clean the fish. So you put shrimp in there to clean the fish. You have certain fish that actually clean the coral. So there's all kinds of bugs in the ocean that try and eat your coral. They're called wrasse. And wrasse will just swim around the reef all day and pick at the coral, eating any kind of parasite bugs, etc. that will eat corals. It's not because you get that fish because it's cool. There's fish that you get because they're cool. Yes, they have those, but when you're trying to sustain this ecosystem, you want to get the workers. You want live things that work. So that way you don't have to do the job. A lot of people say, oh, you have to clean your sand. Oh, no, there's sand sifting starfish. There's sand sifting gobies. They'll actually eat the sand and it comes out their gills. So they're turning over your sand bed at all times. There's sand sifting snails. They live down in the sand. What else is there? There's all kinds of sand
Everything
sifting.
in the reef has a purpose.
Has a purpose. Everything.
Okay, so keep asking questions. Everyone should have at least one question.
What's your guys' current budget for marketing? Like how much do you set aside?
Right now, we have a budget of $8,000.
But we're going to limit your budget to 1,000.
You were discussing the Chamber of Commerce and how all of these business owners get together and network. Number one, would it be possible to approach some of these individuals as perhaps investors to help you grow your business?
We could, but my son-in-law and I just want to keep it between us.
Makes sense.
And there's other places out there that we can go to if need be, but I think we can make this grow just between him and I and what we got going now.
Okay, more questions?
Go ahead.
Have you guys considered using a different social media platform to target a different audience?
We're open to just about anything.
You're talking like
Like
Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter, anything that can expand your target audience? See, maybe they could get interested. I mean, it's a free advertisement, right?
Right. So, yeah, we've thought about it. I just don't know a whole lot about Instagram. My employee, Tevin, he does all that Twitter, and so he's just now getting on board with making videos, trying to help us with YouTube. We want to start a YouTube channel. That way, when people do buy a tank, we have go-to videos if you have any questions on how to do the test kits, how to check your water parameters, how to add food, how to plant your corals, how to cut your corals.
How to set up your tank.
Yeah, so we want to set up this YouTube channel where people can go, oh, EpicCorals, and then find episodes of whatever it is you're looking for.
How much time per week do you spend on marketing?
What's that?
How much time per week do you spend on marketing activities?
I'd say
So
probably
ask a
like
different
4 hours a week.
I want to do
And that's
that,
just
whatever.
me. You know, like I said, I'm 100% Facebook. I love Facebook, and I think it's really good for like the live videos. But like I said, I'm not a huge. I didn't go to school for anything like marketing or business or anything like that, so I don't know a whole lot. I know a lot about saltwater and how to sustain an aquarium. So it's kind of all new to me still, how to do the marketing and the so on and so forth.
Go ahead.
What kind of marketing tactics have you tried in the past besides Facebook?
So we did radio ad last year. I actually have it on my phone, if you guys would like to hear it.
That make a
Just
difference?
pretty much radio and Facebook.
How effective was it?
Yeah.
We last year when we did the radio station, we did well on it. We did well. We're hoping this new radio ad we're doing is gonna be a lot better for us. I think it will be, because we're gonna hit the radio station hard for how long? 8 months.
Yeah, and so it was one of those things again too, like we didn't know who was watching, who was listening, who would be interested. So we just kind of went with a radio station. It was 106.7. And that wasn't really the age group that we were looking for. So once I started doing all my insights on Facebook, who was watching, we kind of knew what
Who we wanted
what
to target.
market, what age group. There's 30,000 listeners to 92.7 every single month between the ages of 25 and 45. So that was like, boom, right there. We need to take more lump sum of an investment and throw it into this. And because Joey Bravo is very, very big. All of you probably know who Joey Bravo is in the area on 92.7. He's really big. So when he's gonna actually have personal endorsements about EpicCorals. So it ain't going to be just an ad. Every single day he's going to personally endorse EpicCorals and talk about us on the air. So that'll be nice.
How much does that cost for 8 months?
A little over $8,000.
You can usually anticipate about $15 per time an ad airs.
So how important do you feel marketing is to your business?
Very important.
Did you get back with an average number of hours that you spend in marketing activities per week?
About 4 to 5.
Okay.
What's your returning customer rate? Do you guys have a lot of customers that return?
Yeah.
We do. We get them in the store, they will come back. We get people that come in just to see and talk to us. Then they'll come back again and look around, and then they'll come back again and look around. Then a lot of them we can get them really interested in it and believing in us, knowing what we're talking about, and then they'll buy a tank.
How do you track your customers?
Through the Clover. We have a point of sale system, Clover, and it keeps track of how many return. It'll send us insights once again every week. How many returning customers?
How many new customers?
Yeah. How many
Can you explain what Clover is?
So Clover is POS, point of sales, and so that's what it is it's pretty much where we take our money. And so I set it up to where we put every single product we have in this machine. And so when you go to ring somebody up, you got a Campophilia coral, boom, $85. And then so that way, at the end of the month, you have a track record of what sells, what doesn't sell, how long have we had this. So there's a line of product on our shelf that I am discontinuing because it doesn't sell. And I don't believe in it. So it's hard for me to sell it when I don't believe in it as well. So we're just going to discontinue that. But point of sales is,
Keeps track of our inventory.
inventory, money,
Returning customers, new customers. It pretty much just takes care of our store.
When you attract new customers, would you say that they're more inexperienced with saltwater keep up, or would you say more of your new customers are people who have a little bit of knowledge in it, or where would you target?
I would say that a lot of our customers don't know much about saltwater at all, or they've heard about it and are afraid to do it because of the knowledge of it, the way it used to be versus now. So once we get them believing in what we tell them and that it's not really that difficult to have a saltwater tank compared to like it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We just got to get them to believe in us and believe in themselves that they can do it.
What's your biggest seller?
Our biggest seller?
probably fish.
Yeah.
What specific, can you narrow down to a type of fish?
Clownfish, Nemo.
Everybody wants Nemo.
Everybody wants
If
Nemo.
you have a saltwater tank, that's people are going to see that Nemo or that Dory and go saltwater. Boom, right off the bat, saltwater. You don't have a Nemo or a Dory. People are like, is that freshwater or is that saltwater? People don't even know what corals are here in Twin Falls because there's no store that's been able to sustain these creatures before. So
Are you guys from Twin Falls?
We are.
I went to the Bruins.
And I was born in Jerome.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What kind of feedback do you receive?
Louder, please.
What kind of feedback do you receive
From where?
from your customers?
Oh, here, I'll show you. Whoops. So right here, we are a 5 out of 5 out of 57 people. So we have never got under a 5-star review. So with the knowledge that we have, there's really nowhere that can compete with us when it comes to the knowledge part of the aspect. And it's like I tell everybody else, it's hard to, when you go into Petco or Exotic Guppy, like I was saying, ecosystems, how can he or she tell you how to take care of a saltwater ecosystem when he or she's over here trying to talk about reptiles? So we specialize in reef, saltwater only.
Scroll down and let them see some of our reviews. Like that one there.
How about reading it out loud?
So let's see here. Me and my husband currently own 3 freshwater tanks, but are looking to start up our first saltwater tank. Visiting EpicCorals just solidified the deal. I'll for sure be going back. Amazing place to experience. EpicCorals rivals any aquarium store in the bigger cities. Clean, knowledgeable, great selection, and great service. So far, having a great experience with the folks here. Most impressive selection I've seen in Idaho for fauna, and if anything else, they seem passionate about what they do.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So
What else or questions do you guys have?
I don't know how feasible this is, but have you guys ever participated in like a home and garden show or trade shows, anything like that?
We haven't yet, but we've
thought about it.
We've thought about it, and eventually we will.
This October, though, we're going to do the Idaho. What is it? The Idaho Reptile Expo. So I think it's at the fairgrounds in Jerome. Yeah. So it's the Idaho Expo for reptiles, but we're going to show up with a bunch of corals. See what happens.
Go ahead.
Going back to your new and returning customers from a marketing standpoint, Would you rather focus on having returning customers come in, or would you rather focus on bringing new people into the store?
Always new people.
Always new people?
Right. So what I explain to people too is, people kind of get worried about having a saltwater tank. But my aspect on it is, look, if you aren't successful with your tank, I ain't successful with our business. So I thrive to make sure people have a thriving reef tank and they see growth and they want to learn more, take that next step out of the beginner corals, because if I can make you successful, it's going to make us successful. And when you go to big places like Petco, they're just looking for that, here, buy that fish and see you later. I don't care if it dies. Go YouTube it. Go somewhere else to figure out your information. I got people that come in and we actually sit down with them, show them how to use their test kits. So we take time out of our day just to make sure that people are successful at what they're doing.
Yeah, we want their tank to be exactly where they want it to be, with no questions asked. We're there to help them, help everybody actually.
If you had is there a standard size tank?
Standard size.
We have tanks from 16 gallon up to,
Let's say a 50-gallon.
50 gallon.
How many hours per week would you have to devote to maintenance?
on a 50 gallon.
Couple hours, probably just do a water change.
That would be a month.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, a couple hours a month.
Okay.
Yeah. With the technology nowadays in the filtration systems that they have, just a water change. And the nice thing is that we have people that come in and don't even know how to check their salt level because we've simplified it so much that people just bring in their jugs and go, I need salt water. We fill up their salt water, they go home, take out 10 gallons, put 10 gallons back in, that's it, clean their glass.
You mentioned earlier that you make your own water, correct?
Right.
Okay, and that's a proprietary process that ensures the health and sustainability of your corals and fish, correct?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was going to quote that correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so all water, like city water, has what's called TDS, total dissolved solids, so that's mean chloramine, chlorine, nitrate, phosphate, metals. We put it through a filtration system that gets all of that out. And so I was even testing, I got all mad, and I was even testing water bottles. I'm like, I got a Smart Water, an Arrowhead water, and I'm like cutting these open, checking with my TDS meter. I called up Smart Water and I was like, how are you selling this water saying it's so clean? What do you mean, sir? I was like, well, I've just done tests. I was like, I make water that's better than this, and you're selling this? I was like,
$2.19 a cent.
yeah. And she's like, well, we could put a complaint in for it. Thanks, please do, because you're a water bottle company, and I think I might become a water bottle company. Yeah.
So when we start working together, doing the marketing, what characteristics of your business do you want us to focus and make sure that we, actually on the same page? That way, we deliver the message that you guys want to.
Quality.
Quality and 100% salt water. We have a lot of calls, like I said, that say, hey, you got frogs, or you got rodents, turtles.
I wanted shrimp.
We have
shrimp.
Yeah, but I wanted freshwater shrimp.
Snake River.
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, specializing in reef aquariums. So there's 3 different kinds of saltwater aquariums. You got Fowler, fish only with live rock. So live rock is going to be bacteria rock. So in the ocean there's billions and billions of live bacteria. So in any saltwater aquarium you have to have bacteria. So the first tank being Fowler, fish only with live rock, so that meaning there's fish that can't go to certain corals. And then you have a predator tank, so you got sharks, stingrays, pufferfish, anything that's really aggressive. And then you have a reef tank, so that's going to be community. Fish that can go together, fish that don't eat your corals. And we specialize in reef. Yeah, I can make you a predator tank. Yeah, I can do you a fish only. But we specialize in reef. So that's a big thing here. Everybody's starting to like that. Nobody wants to go, I don't even carry predator fish or like, we'll get triggers once in a while, but there's, 1 out of 5 people, 1 out of 10 people that have those kinds of tanks. Everybody's wanting the reef. They come in and see the coral and they're like, oh yeah, gotta have the reef.
Is all this stuff live? It's
Yeah.
so fake. Everything on our store is live, from our sand to our rocks to our corals.
Right.
Do you special order?
Yes, we do. Yep.
I know I remember reading some of your information on Facebook. You guys like custom make the tanks and custom make the stands. How does that work?
No, not yet. Eventually we will. I'd like to get into building tanks and stuff like that. But we can build stands, of course, but as far as the tanks, we order the tanks for now, but eventually I'd like to learn how to build our own.
Yeah, and there's companies like in Salt Lake, Utah that do custom aquariums. So if we had someone that was like, hey, I want a 1,000-gallon tank, we would call up a company that does wholesale, obviously, and they would custom build a tank to that customer's needs and a stand. So like the 550-gallon reef tank at the Burley Hospital was a $25,000 custom tank. So that was just the tank alone. And the glass is like that big.
Is it glass or acrylic?
Glass. Wow. Yeah. Yep. And the sump underneath it is called a Royale 400. So the sump is going to be the filtration. And it's 75 gallons worth of filtration underneath it. And then they have automatic dosers. So that's going to put every single day, if we turned off those dosers, all those corals would start dying immediately because every day, every second of the day, those corals are pulling in the calcium, pulling in the alkalinity, and taking it out of the water column. So 24 times a day, every hour of the day, it's spitting a little bit of calcium, a little bit of alkalinity, a little bit of magnesium, just different elements that the corals need to thrive. So, wow, yeah.
So, what would be, it's kind of a weird question, but what would be a basic bottom line price for a basic beginner tank?
We have them in the store right now for $200, tank and stand.
Tank and stand, light, all the filtration just doesn't come with rock, sand, nothing live. But it has the full-on filtration except for a heater. It doesn't have a heater. And I'm actually doing Facebook on my own, or a Facebook Live series on my own Facebook page. I actually brought one to my house and I'm putting it to the test. I'm doing all of the Red Sea products. They're the #1 on the market for products. But it's a crappy light on it, and it's supposed to only grow soft corals. So I'm putting it to the test, and I'm like, I'm going to grow expert corals with this thing. I'm going to do it. And so I've been making videos. We've already sold like 11 or 12 of them. So there's a lot of people out there that are wondering how to work these things, how they can, thrive with this. So as I make these videos, we're getting a lot of feedback from it. And that's why I think the YouTube channel will be really good, because people are like, wow, if he's going to do that, I'm going to do this with mine. And that's just because I'm an expert and they want to follow and do what I'm doing to make those corals thrive and make their investment actually live. So,
What would be your credentials, such as education, certifications, anything that would make you an expert in this?
YouTube. No, there's no.
We haven't been to no school for this, or it's just like Ethan said, he started out when he was 16 years old just as a hobby, and just went from there.
What type of warranties or insurance do you guys provide to validate the quality of your products, basically?
We don't have a warranty on our fish.
Okay.
You know, it's because we know our fish, when we sell them, are healthy, they're eating, they've been thriving. Because once a customer takes them out of our store and puts them in their tank, we have no idea what they do.
We call it the tail light policy.
Yeah.
As soon as I can't see your tail lights, it's yours.
Now, some people, we got customers that we will, you know, we know how their tanks are, and stuff happens.
Right.
A fish will die, but we will work with them. You know.
What made you choose reptiles as your location to go to, the show?
We had a gal come in and asked us if we would mind putting up a booth over there with them.
Okay.
So I've also noticed a lot of our customers too, like either have like a freshwater tank or have like an iguana or a lizard, or you know, and it's all kind of works around the same audience,
Okay.
if you will. So you know, those people that have reptiles and such, and they're there, and they see a reef aquarium, they're going, "Oh my gosh, I can get one of those!" Like. So we just want to try and be inside that audience of that kind of.
So will you bring tanks there?
Yes.
And how difficult is it? How many tanks do you bring? What are some of the logistics you would have to consider?
We would probably take 2 tanks, the simple tanks that are easy to set up, tear down, take our own water, get it running, and make sure the water's at the right temperature, and put some fishing corals in there.
Nice.
So I was gonna
Go ahead. Sorry, I just had a question kind of along those lines of like trade shows and stuff. Have you ever thought of going and having a booth or something at the fair, local fair?
We thought about that. The only thing is it gets hot as heck at the fair. So where you have to spend thousands of dollars on what's called a chiller to try and keep this water down. So for saltwater, it needs to be between 77 and 80 degrees. So when you're looking at 90-degree days, it's really hard to sustain that temperature. Yeah, we could do it, but it's just trying to keep that water cool enough to, we don't want to have melting corals or fish like just floating by. That's a reef tank for you. Yeah.
So I think it would probably be more interesting than most other things that they have. Your own exhibit.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea.
Right.
Just curious what you thought of it.
Who hasn't asked a question yet? Go for it.
So, in relation to returning customers, how would you feel about a rewards program?
We do have a rewards program.
Oh, okay. Could you explain it?
So for every $15 spent in the store, we have punch cards. And so you get a punch every time you spend $15. And then once you get 10 punches, you get 10% off of live goods. No dry goods, because in this market there's not really a profit on dry goods. Dry goods being salt, foods, additives. There's really low margin on that. So we do 10% off any live goods. So that would be fish, hermit crab, so on and so forth.
I have too many questions. Do you guys have a referral program where you give people a discount if they refer a friend?
No.
Go ahead.
So you said you wanted to be in like Pocatello, Boise, and then here in Twin Falls. Do you want So you're on Washington right now. Were you planning on staying on Washington, or were you thinking of maybe moving somewhere else in Twin
We'll be
Falls?
moving someplace else next year.
Because you're already kind of growing out of that space.
We grew out of that store the first 3 months we were open.
And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this also. So we're not like your hamburger joint where you're selling hamburger, for one person, $8. So they need to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers coming in to sustain their building. I would say we're an average $100 store. So when somebody walks in, they're normally spending at least $100. So it's not like someone will come in and spend $5. I mean, it happens, but the average, so we don't need a whole lot of, it would be nice to have a whole lot of people, but it's not like your burger joint or, you're just anywhere where they sell like lunch or something like that, where they need hundreds of people to be coming through Jamba Juice or whatever to come through and buy a $4 juice. See what I'm saying? The markup on the salt water is very good. So I would say you get 10 to 15 customers a day, you're doing really good. So it's not like your McDonald's where you got to have people just flying through. So we really like to be personable with our customers. Know your name. When you come in, we like to greet you by your name. So I'm the guy that's like, nice to meet you, I'm Ethan. What's your name? I'll remember your name. Next time I probably won't know your name, but I'll ask you again. And I will, for the most part, I know everybody's name that comes through there, that comes in on a scheduled basis.
And we have customers from Montana, Utah, Wyoming, Nevada, Boise, Pocatello.
They all come to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys ever go out to any other places or anything like that? Like, do you travel for business or not so much?
Oh, we do. We've done deliveries to Pocatello and stuff like that.
Okay.
What else do you want to know about their marketing, about what you can do with marketing, about their customers? This is your chance to be able to learn about as much about their business as you can, so that when you start researching demographics, when you start researching trends and all of that, you're able to really hone in on what is going to be best for this organization.
Now, what I suggest you should do, honestly, would be to go over to Exotic Guppy, which is on Main, walk to their store first, then come over to our store.
Or Petco.
Or
too.
Petco.
Yeah, just look at their saltwater selection, look at their products, go check everybody else out, and then come to our store and check it out. And, yeah, you'll definitely see why
We're the best. And we are. We're not to brag, I swear, but we are the best.
Another question. Have you guys thought about having a website or anything like that people could go to rather than going to Facebook or a social media site?
We do have a website.
we do. It's under construction right now.
You want to pull it up?
I don't know. So my fiance is actually the one working on it. I don't know.
If you type in the search, it comes up.
Let's see here.
If you do EpicCorals Twin Falls, right there. And the first one. Except you guys did a
Oh, yeah,
.net.
what
That's
it
a
is.
problem.
Yeah. So it's under construction. We did have stingrays for a little bit. They are expensive as heck to feed, but we let everybody pet them and feed them, and that was pretty cool. And I want to have an exhibit too when we get a big building, because there's not a lot of stuff to do in Twin Falls. So what's cooler than to go feed the sharks and stingrays? Everybody's gonna do that.
And we'd love to have, like, school kids come on a tour over
Field
to our
trips.
store.
So I don't even know how to work.
That's all there is.
Is that it? that's it, I guess.
Okay, what else? Any other questions for them?
On your website, do you plan on listing some of your product line? You know, your salt water, your sand, your
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, we'll have individual corals, pictures. For instance, lobophilia. We'll have, you know, $40, lobophilia, WYSIWYG, which is what you see is what you get. So you will get that exact item, and as soon as you click, it'll pull from the website, so the next person can't click that. And then we'll have orders going out. But like we said, we're super, super small right now, and so if we got, you know, we're trying to work on Twin Falls, but if we go out huge within the state or the country, we might get overwhelmed and not be able to deliver, and then we get a bad name. I've seen it happen over and over again. Is you under deliver everybody, so that you know it's like, where's my corals? Why aren't they at my doorstep? You know, you have to ship these corals out overnight, and they have to be there the next morning at 10 a.m. Well, if you have, you know, 40 orders and you only have 3 employees, you can't get those 40 orders out, and then you start losing credibility. And I do not want, if I get a 4.9 star,
Somebody's in trouble.
oh, I'm going to be maddest SOB.
So just a reminder, we'll be focusing on the social media and website design next term. So for right now, I want you looking at other alternatives. Pardon?
Considered using the Facebook store as online sales? Setting up your own Facebook store?
Yes and no.
It's got a lot of limitations.
Yeah, so we get red flagged. So if it's hard to post corals on Facebook because Facebook has policies you can't sell anything live. Like if you put a dog up for sale, they have to. It'll say pending, and then they search it, and then if you have it actually like for sale, where it says a dollar amount. That Facebook puts under it, they put it under review. So every time that I try and put like a fish on there, they say it hasn't been approved and nobody can see it. It's just been red flagged. So it's really hard to actually put sale items on Facebook. Now I do have this right here. We call it, so this is kind of my way of getting around it. It's called EpicCorals Corals/Fish. And so right here, let's see here. So this is the only way I'm able to do it. So I can't actually put it under for sale. I have to deliver it as a post. And so this is kind of our Twin Falls state. So there's like 100 and something members. And I'll do little sales, like right here you got this Sparantheus, 14 in stock, $9.99, and they have to comment like, and so he said like 3, so he wanted 3, and then they have 3 days to come into the store and pick it up. Now this works really well because people are addicted to this. So when they're at work, they're actually sitting there trying to buy stuff, going, oh, $9.99, you gotta keep kidding me. Like, so they're buying stuff while they're out.
That's just within our group.
Yeah, so this is just in our group. So $8.99 when these are normally $20, $8.99 on here, people are going crazy for them. So that's kind of how we do our online sales right now. Like this trigger right here normally runs about $120, $54.99. So the deals that I throw online, you can't come into the store and get that same deal. You have to get it online, and then it's $54.99. So that's kind of what boosted this page was. You can't get that in store. You have, because people will come and be like, "Oh, you still have that clown trigger?" Yeah, you can't buy it in store at that price. Reason being why we did this is because the more people that actually comment on this, it pops up on their page, and then it's just a tumbling
advertisement type of thing. Does that make sense? So that's it's called EpicCorals Coral/Fish. So that's a group, and then EpicCorals Swim Falls is a business page. So there's a difference between the group and the business page.
We're about ready to wrap up. Anybody have any closing comments or questions?
Are most people commercial, or are most people like just doing residential where it's?
A lot of our customers are residential.
Which do you prefer? Like, which is your target? What do you
Commercial. We like to get tanks in all the hospitals because we believe that fish tanks in a hospital is therapeutic for people that go in there. Gets their minds off what they're in there for, and they can sit and relax and watch the fish.
Just real quick on that, if you were to donate a tank to, say, a children's wing of a hospital somewhere, would that count as like a tax break for your what? And is that something that you would be willing to explore?
We tried that, got shot down.
St. Luke's, we tried to donate them a 350-gallon. We were almost there, but then they shut us down because, what did they say?
They said that if they did it for us, then they'd have to do it for somebody else.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, that doesn't mean we're going to give up on it because firmly believe that they need to be in hospitals.
Thank you, Marty. Ethan.